President's Choice Raptors basketball on TSN is brought to you by President's Choice, by Ford, and by Coors Light. Basketball here at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Along with Norma Wick, Leah Rungs, this Chuck Swirsky. It's the Raptors and the Pistons. Pistons off to a 2-0 start. They blasted Philadelphia right out of this building by 20 and won on the road last night over Boston 82-81. Leo, let's take a look at our starting fives.
Joey Graham again at the small forward starting for Toronto. Rafael Araujo getting the nod in the middle. Chuck struggled last night against New Jersey, but Sam Mitchell needs somebody physical against Ben Wallace in the middle. Chris Bosh, Mike James, and Jalen Rose in the backcourt.
And for the Pistons, what a lineup. Prince, Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Billups, and Hamilton. Somewhere we've been down this road before.
Oh, this is a veteran group. They're very competitive. They come at you hard at both ends of the floor. And now you're going to see this team play with a little bit more creativity under Flip Saunders.
Flip Saunders is the new head coach of the Detroit Pistons. Sam Mitchell played under Flip Saunders at Minnesota in our IBM winning strategies.
Well, Chuck, when you're playing against a team coached by Flip Saunders, you have to recognize the defenses. Toronto 41% against Detroit last season. Now you're going to see more changing of zones, matchups, etc. So you have to be ready for that. Make the extra pass. The last two games, the Raptors have shot under 40%. Last season, they were 1-13 when they shot that percentage. Also, you have to block out. The Wallaces, Ben and Rasheed, 38 rebounds combined in their first two games. You got to find a body every time the shot goes up against the Pistons.
An experienced, seasoned veteran Detroit ball club ready to make yet another run at not only an Eastern Conference championship, but in some circles, many believe that the Pistons will go on and win the entire association crown.
Well, they certainly are one of the hands-on favorites to do so, Chuck. It'll be really interesting to see how this team takes on Flip Saunders' personality more and more as the season goes along.
Well, the Pistons in their first two games, Leo, are averaging 95 points per game and giving up only 84.
Well, again, it's a tremendous amount of offensive talent, and now under Saunders, a lot more of that is going to come out. And the mainstay, the foundation has been built by Larry Brown defensively. Flip will supplement that with his work with the different and the changing defenses that you'll see.
Well, Sam Mitchell had his way with his old boss last year, beating Minnesota twice.
Well, Raptors played very well. Chris Bosh, one of the reasons why, playing very well against Kevin Garnett. Sam Mitchell knows it's going to be a challenging season for the Raptors. There are going to be ups and downs, but one of the things he expects from his guys is an effort, a strong, solid effort, intensity, night in and night out, and it starts here on the road for the first game.
Nothing like the way to start the season with a back-to-back with the Nets and Pistons. And again, they really labored last night. The Raptors did in the first half, scoring only 28 points, 9 in the second quarter.
Yeah, and, you know, Nets had 45 points in the first and really got off to a good start. Raptors weren't rebounding as well and not taking care of the basketball or sharing the basketball. And that's where this guy is going to come into play. Jalen Rose. Everybody knows he can score, Chuck, but remember, there was a lot of talk about him being a point guard coming into the NBA out of Michigan. He is a great passer. He has to get everybody involved. The Raptors showed they could do that with 14 assists in the second half against New Jersey.
Sam Mitchell looking for some type of production from their center position. Last night, Lauren Woods and Rafael Araujo combined for 0 points, 5 boards, 4 fouls in 11 minutes.
Well, Hoffa came into the game and really was doing what everybody else was supposed to not be doing. Sam Mitchell was very upset about that, sat him down. He didn't get back in the game. He has to come out aggressively here, but be smart. Don't try to force the game. Use your body, go after the ball in the glass. And again, if you got an open look, that's one thing, but don't force shots.
Sam Mitchell told reporters prior to the ball game he expects defense and screens from Rafael Araujo, and we're just about ready to tip things off with the Raptors and the Detroit Pistons here at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Good to have you with us tonight on TSN. And we're underway. The Pistons under Flip Saunders. Tell me about the difference offensively than Larry Brown.
Well, Flip Saunders is very creative. He really looks to try to exploit every single matchup he can on the floor. There's a good job by Rip Hamilton. I'll tell you what, one of the things Rip Hamilton does is he never stops moving, Chuck. He's one of those guys where the coach comes up to you before the game and goes, okay, Chuck, you have Rip Hamilton. You're going, oh, no, come on. Anybody but him. And especially now with Flip Saunders, he's going to run Rip Hamilton off of all kinds of screens. And even Hamilton said that he's found more ways to score under Saunders than he even thought possible.
Flip Saunders, a different coach as well. Larry Brown is an in-your-grill type of coach.
Yeah, and it can be a lot more negative, Chuck. Larry Brown really gets on you. Flip Saunders is more on the positive side. I've had the opportunity to play for him, and I really enjoyed it. I thought he was a marvelous coach, and your team was very well prepared, but you always had a good time when you stepped on the floor.
Well, the Raptors operating with Mike James at the point, a former Piston who collected an NBA championship ring 2 years ago. Rose swings it to James. Joey Graham. And a power move and a runner with a finger roll, and that's a charge on Joey Graham. Sam Mitchell talked about Joey Graham in his pregame offering with the media and said he needs to bust it with energy.
Yeah, and you can see he just didn't take the first jump shot he got like he's been doing. He tried to put the ball on the floor and get to the bucket. And that's just a young player trying to be receptive, trying to do what the coach wants.
Phillips, who has really come on strong as a Piston. Rasheed Wallace comes up shooting and missing. And another element for the Raptors, they want to run every opportunity. Our first quarter brought to you by Ford. Chris Bosh is fouled on the baseline and will shoot two.
Rasheed Wallace does not like that call. You don't foul shooters. And he said, hey, I just got a hand up. I'm not going to foul him in a situation like that. Now, one of the things we're seeing right off the bat, Chuck, in the first 2 minutes of this ball game, Raptors are being more patient. They're handling the ball. They're making that extra pass. The ball's going side to side. Chris Bosh is seeing the ball early. That's something that didn't happen. Remember, last night against New Jersey, just 3 shots in the first quarter, 3 shots in the second quarter. That's not how you use Chris Bosh.
And the fact that the Raptors are #1 in the association in free throw shooting, they've made 37 of their 43 attempts at 86%. Bosh is 10 of 11 from the line.
Yeah, Bosh is a guy that can get to the line 8, 9, 10 times a game because of his length and quickness. Raptors also have other players because of their versatility. If they look to attack the basket, will get to the free throw line.
Hamilton 5th in the league in scoring at 31 per game. After the first 2, Rasheed Wallace with a curl and a score.
That's where I'd personally like to see Rasheed Wallace more, playing with his back to the basket. Tough shot.
Oh, what a sweet off the window. A kiss by Golden Graham.
And see, I think that's what Sam wants. Just get Joey Graham being aggressive, putting the ball on the floor, taking that shot off the glass. Don't just settle for those catch and shoot situations.
Rasheed Wallace double on the ball. Tough baseline pass. Tayshaun Prince, are you kidding me? And now we've got a foul.
Yeah, Mike James getting called for pushing off on Ben Wallace. And here's one of the intangibles of a Ben Wallace. Wallace not only is going to get every rebound that comes off the glass, but what he does is he'll pick up in a situation like that. Pistons get a quick bucket. He comes up, presses, because he knows that not only can he bother that pass coming in, but he can get back defensively. That may be a good sign for the Raptors who called their own in early, Chuck.
Richard Hamilton, after Ben Wallace kept that ball in play, leaping high in the air with a one-hand grab and pass.
That's what he does, the intangibles.
8-4 Pistons. Rose taking a run on the baseline. A nifty reverse by Jalen Rose.
I like that because you have a player like Hamilton that you have to chase all over the place. Make him work at the defensive end as well.
I like how the Raptors really going after it on the rim. And Detroit running a lot of plays on the block for Rasheed Wallace.
The same philosophy, Chuck. Flip Saunders is going to make Chris Bosh work at the defensive end of the floor.
Jose Calderon has been called for 3 seconds in the key, a defensive violation.
A little adjustment. Remember, an international game, Chuck, you can play all the zones you want. no rules regarding those zones, so a little adjustment for Calderon to figure out exactly where he needs to be at the defensive end.
Had about a 10-minute conversation with Jose prior to the ball game about a lot of things, about diet, about sleep, about work habits, about back-to-back games.
Do you think he really cares about your diet and your sleeping habits, Chuck? Come on, give the guy a break.
Here is Billups for three. Chauncey Billups. Well, this is all a part of the NBA education for Jose Calderon.
Oh, you mean his sleep habits?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And he said it's much more physical in the NBA than the EuroLeague. He said the quickness, they have quick guards in Europe, but nothing like the NBA as far as the physicality.
No, you're definitely correct on that. It's an inconsistent physical play in international ball. There's some guys, and you get hit pretty hard, but on a consistent level, there's no league in the world more physical than the NBA. You got the best athletes, and they get in your grill, and they're riding you all game long at that guard position.
How about Joey Graham? One moment he's guarding Antoine Jamison, Richard Jefferson, Vince Carter. Tonight, Tayshaun Prince. Jalen Rose off the mark from three-point range, and here's Billups. Now, Detroit runs what they call a flex offense under Flip Saunders. What is a flex offense?
Well, Chuck, almost every team in the league, you're going to see a lot of flex offense, and with that, you get a lot of screening. You get screening up and down and across, and that hopefully opens up somebody if you're patient and you execute.
Calderon. Joey Graham with a beautiful spin off window. No. Raptors shooting 50%. They've attempted 4 shots. The Pistons at 67%. It's 12-6 Pistons. Wallace very capable of knocking down threes. This is a long rebound to Rose. Graham with a post-up on Tayshaun Prince.
That's a good move right there. Good move right there. Solid, getting that step inside as well as the shoulder on Prince.
Does he have a body or what?
And he's not afraid to use it. That's what I like. A lot of guys have a body, but they don't all want to use it and be physical. Heads up.
Ben Wallace is fouled by Rafael Araujo, putting Ben Wallace at the free throw line.
See, situations like that hurt Hoffa, Chuck. Once he sees Ben Wallace barreling down, he's just got to hold his ground. But that slight movement, trying to reach in on the play, all he does is pick up fouls.
Wallace, a career 42% free throw shooter. How about this, Leo? In a magazine article, Ron Artest, it's been our test of Ben Wallace, Defensive Player of the Year, who's a better defender. Ron Artest said he'd like to fight Ben Wallace on pay-per-view for $10 million.
Well, Chuck, you know what? I'm not a fighter.
You're a lover.
And I'm certainly don't have a body like Ben Wallace or Ron Artest, but you give me $10 million, I'll get in the ring too.
I agree.
I'm going down the first round, collecting my paycheck.
Down goes Routens. Down goes Routens.
That's big of Artest to volunteer to do that, isn't it?
Bosh whirls and misses. And on a dribble penetration before the pass off, we've got a whistle and a foul. Jose Calderon, and that's going to be his first.
And one of the other adjustments for a player like Calderon, Chuck, that you don't in international ball, you pretty much see the same type of player all the time. And in the NBA, he's going to go to, you got a Chauncey Billups, you got a Jason Kidd, a Jeff McInnes. It's a whole different look, a Gilbert Arenas.
Counted the foul off Billups. Busted down the defense.
And when you're a guy like Calderon, as we saw in that matchup right there with Billups coming down to create that situation, you have to make so many adjustments on a nightly basis, and that really is another big separation from the international game to the NBA game.
And a separation of fouls as well, Leo. The Raptors with 6 here in the quarter, and the Pistons with only 1. And the Raptors want to talk it over. 16-8 Detroit, 7-11 to go. Jose Calderon and the rest of the Raptors have some work to do here at the Palace of Auburn Hills on a Saturday night.
Well, Detroit doing what they do best. They're attacking. They're being aggressive to start this game up.
So we'll return in just a moment here in Detroit. 16-8 Pistons. Welcome back right here on TSN, Toronto Raptors basketball. And let's take a look at our Gatorade Game X Factor. And I took the Raptors tonight. Leo took a member of the Pistons, and Jose Calderon.
I really love it when you get out on a limb, Chuck. He had 20 last night, 7 assists, so you're going to go with him. That's big. I'm going with Antonio McDyess. Last 2 games, 8 points, 10 boards, but he's a guy that, you know,
that's really going on.
Well, he's a rebounder, Chuck, and you know he's going to go after the ball on the glass. And right now, that's a could be a sore point for the Raptors.
Aaron Williams playing for the 2nd consecutive night. Played 3 minutes last night against the New Jersey Nets. There's Aaron Williams. Let's go to Norma.
Thank you, Chuck. Raptors in the half court right now, but when they get the ball and are coming up the floor, Sam Mitchell imploring them to be much more aggressive about getting up the floor and going hard. He says they're floating right now, allowing Detroit to get their defensive teeth into them, and they're kind of stringing them out. So he wants them to take it right up the floor, fast and hard. Chuck?
It's the best way to go, Chuck. You want to push it up as quickly as you can. If you get something, great. If you don't, now you have more time to run your offense.
And time for Chris Bosh to drain a 15-footer. And for CB4, that's his first bucket. Go along with a couple of free throws. 16-10 Pistons. Billups again, who has turned out to be a wonderful player. 3rd pick in the 97 draft, had a power move, and Ben Wallace almost put that ball in after it squirted out of his hands. And Aaron Williams down the floor to Rose on a 3-on-3. Rose to Calderon with a finish. What a lead pass by Jalen Rose.
And that's what I was talking about right off the top, Chuck. He is a great passer, and Jalen Rose sometimes has to sit back and say, you know what, I can be just as effective getting people the ball and moving it and sharing it as I can be scoring.
Hamilton always moving without the ball, matched up against Rose. They clear the side on the right point, running on the baseline, swatted away by Aaron Williams. Richard Hamilton just ate some Spalding. Joey Graham rejected by Tayshaun Prince, and right underneath the rim, Richard Hamilton. Aaron Williams was down on the floor.
Yeah, he's either got a dislocated or broken finger, Chuck. You can see that middle finger looks like it's bent in half.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that finger's, again, either dislocated or broken. He went down hard. He couldn't get up. Right there, coming right down on the floor, and you can see as soon as he did that.
He knew it.
Great block by Aaron Williams. Unfortunately, came down hard.
And they're going straight into the locker room.
Greg Spratt, the trainer for the Toronto Raptors, you saw what he was trying to do, Chuck. A lot of times what you'll do is you'll pull on that finger, see if it's dislocated. You can get it right back into the joint. And the way he's walking, I think maybe it could be something a little bit more than that.
Well, as soon as we get a report, we will pass it on to you. Tough break for the Raps.
Yeah. Here, watch him come down, and
this is not pretty, folks. So
yeah, watch your stomachs there. If you don't, both fingers, Chuck. It's not one finger; it's 2 fingers. Oh boy. Oh boy.
So by committee, there is Lauren Woods getting an opportunity now here in the first quarter. The 3rd center utilized by Sam Mitchell. 18-12 Detroit. Rose at the point comes up firing. Nope. Rebound Rasheed Wallace. Raptors on the floor go with Rose, Woods, Graham, Bosh, and Calderon. We are at the 5:23 mark, first quarter. Good to have you with us on TSN. Tayshaun Prince, who recently signed a 5-year, $47 million deal, and a push to the back from Joey Graham.
Yeah, Tayshaun Prince has been a tremendous player for Detroit, Chuck. We saw him make that block a little earlier. How many times have you seen Tayshaun Prince hustle back on defense, make a game-saving or just a huge block, keep the ball in play, and then make a play at the other end of the floor? And that's that hustle and energy that he brings to the table.
And Matt Bonner has come on to the ball game for Bonner. He's off to a 2-for-11 start. Spoke to Bonner as Graham leaves with 2 personal fouls. He said, Matt, are you pressing? He said, you know what? At this point in time, I just want some balls to go down. He said, I'm taking the same shots.
Well, what I noticed with Matt, he's not taking the same shots, Chuck. Right now, he's in Never Never Land. He's been working on putting the ball on the floor, and his strength last year was making that shot when he gets it. And right now, he's not sure when to put the ball on the floor or when to take that shot or when to swing the ball. He's got to be decisive. When he gets it, he's got the shot, take it. If the defense reacts, react to the defense. Remember, the defense will always tell you what to do. Right now, he's just confused, and it's affecting the shooting and his percentage, and now his confidence.
Well, Lauren Woods has picked up an offensive foul, Leo. That is the 8th foul on the Toronto Raptors, and we have 5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Ben Wallace, who's a free agent at the end of the season, giving it up to Tayshaun Prince. Prince slides across the lane on Bonner with a runner.
And that's typical Flip Saunders right there. With Matt Bonner in the game, he feels that Tayshaun Prince has an advantage, and he's going right at him.
And we've seen that with Matt in the first 2 games with opponents going at him.
Well, the NBA scouting reports are deadly. They find out what you're doing. They come right at you and try to exploit that. Chris Bosh, he's off to a good start.
Yes, he is, with 6 points. Nice flow and feel to his game here in the first quarter.
It's just important that he sees the ball. He's got to see the ball often and early in games.
Detroit shooting 53%. Again, they run a play for Prince on Bonner with a pull-up.
And they're going to milk this. They will milk this until the Raptors either send over a second defender or switch.
Here's Calderon on a 3-on-2. Here is Bosh off the bounce. Bam! CB4.
And who makes sure that Chris Bosh gets the ball? Calderon. He understands. He understood it in the second half last night against New Jersey. Get the big fella the basketball.
Raps have gone into a zone. Prince for 3. Wow. 3 straight baskets for Tayshaun Prince. He has scored the last 9 Piston points. Jalen Rose, the pitch out. Bosh has had the hot hand for the Raptors with a spin. Tried to give it up to Woods. Taken away by Detroit. Fast break basketball. And they will go to the stripe, shooting 2.
Yeah, now a couple things, Chuck. When you're at the other end of the floor, if you're Chris Bosh, you've got the hot hand, Antonio McDyess now coming in, so no rest for the weary. But if you're Chris Bosh, you need to go up and finish that play. Even if you throw this pass, remember who's on the receiving end. Lauren Woods, he's not going to be expecting that pass. So you have a high risk of turnover anyway. Go up, try to get a foul, try to finish the play.
Phillips at the free throw line. And Charlie Villanueva, the rookie out of UConn. Checking in for the Raptors. Villanueva averaging 10 points in the first 2 games. Lauren Woods will take a seat. So we've seen Rafael Araujo start. Then Aaron Williams came in, and he played all of 2 minutes before injuring a hand. And again, as soon as we get an update, he's in the locker room right now.
Well, Chuck, unless the Raptors are able to make some midseason changes, I think you're going to see the lineup on the floor quite a bit, with Villanueva and Bosh being on the floor together, and they're just going to have to gut it out and rebound to the best of their abilities.
And Jose Calderon.
Oh, I like this kid.
What's not to like?
Yeah, there's no fear in his game. He just steps on the floor regardless of who he's playing against and tries to get it done. Raptors sticking with the zone.
Raptors trailing by 10. Here's Richard Hamilton.
Even if you're in a zone, Chuck, if there's a guy in your area, you just can't turn and go for the rebound. You have to block out first. Find a man before you go get the ball.
Starting backcourt for Detroit, Hamilton and Phillips have outscored the backcourt for the Raptors. Rose along with James, who's on the bench with 2 personals, 13-2. Here's a screen and roll. Nice pass. Can't complete.
Too much time in the clock for Hamilton that time.
Here's Jalen Rose with a runner off window.
Yeah, anything longer than 0.8, he's just not comfortable.
Leo referring to last night's heroics by Richard Hamilton beating Boston with 0.8 of a second to go.
Well, did you see Boston celebrate, Chuck? They hit the winning bucket. Well, they think they hit the winning bucket. And they're on the floor celebrating, and Hamilton comes back and pulls one of these right there on cue. Good job.
Left unattended. Richard Hamilton now with 10. He could become an all-star for the first time this year.
Yeah, he should be an all-star. He's a guy that's got tremendous work ethic, and he does everything that he does at such a high level within the concept of the team, which is so important.
Here's Bonner with 4 on the clock. They feed the block. Charlie Villanueva.
Ooh, a couple of Huskies going at each other. The young fella.
I love it.
Saying, hey, Jim Calhoun taught me this.
Seems like every night when we do a broadcast, Leo, there are a lot of Huskies in the NBA.
What a great program. Maybe another one next year. Denham Brown from Toronto.
Tayshaun
have a great senior year.
Rudy Gay, if he comes out.
Marcus Williams after he comes back from suspension.
34-22 Pistons. Jalen Rose over Rip Hamilton off the mark. Piston ball. Shooting 60%. Raptors at 59%.
Wow, Raptors got lucky there. Nobody picked up Billups.
No. Called around. Again, the Bosch. Rejected by Wallace. Shot clock remains alive. Jalen Rose flying to the lane, and we've got a foul on the floor.
How many players make a block like that on a 6'10" guy and not pick up a foul? That's just a great play.
President's Choice Raptors ball continues in just a moment. And welcome back to the Palace of Auburn Hills. Chuck Swirsky along with Leo Rounds and Normal Wick. And let's take a look at our Ford Fusion Create a Reaction. And again, we'll show you a couple of players, Chris Bosh, Jalen Rose, and match the quote. We had 9 points second quarter. In the NBA, you can't win like that. Or we have to come up with energy, play hard, and team basketball. Here's a look at Chris Bosh. We have an update on what's going on with Aaron Williams in the locker room with that injured hand. Norma, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Chuck. Well, Aaron Williams waiting patiently and painfully in the Detroit Pistons locker room. They're waiting for an X-ray technician to check and see about that middle finger. Both ring finger and middle finger were dislocated. Aaron popped one back in. The trainer, Greg Spratt, popped the middle finger back in, but we're still uncertain as to whether or not there's been any more damage. So once the X-ray technician shows up, Chuck, we'll have another update.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see. We've got Carlos Arroyo on the ball game now.
That's one of the worst, Chuck. I've been in that situation. You go down, you make a play, all of a sudden you look down, you see one of your fingers pointed in the other direction, and it's not a
I've seen that finger pointed in one direction.
Oh, that's when you get out of line, Chuck. That's a whole different scenario now.
Here is Tayshaun. No, stick back jam, Ben Wallace.
See, Chuck, it's a given. Shot goes up. You have got to find Ben Wallace. You just can't turn around and get the ball. You got to get him.
And we're going to have a discussion in midcourt with a couple of the officials here.
Yeah, Flip Saunders saying there should be time on the clock.
Yep, because that ball was thrown out of bounds, and it never hit a Raptor.
And Chris Bosh stepped up to try to help out blocking a shot. Nobody stepped in, put a body on Wallace. I'll tell you what, don't even go for the rebound. Just put a body on him, because you know that he's going to be somewhere near the ball, guaranteed every time. 0.6
of a second. No way they can get that off. Oh, they're going to count it. You got to be kidding me. That basket should not count.
Oh, I'm sure they're going to review it here, Chuck.
Do you think it went in?
It was close. It was very close.
We'll sort it out in just 1/10 of a second on the release. That picture says it all. That basket is good. I didn't think he got it off.
Yeah, it was close, Chuck, but again, the picture doesn't lie. Great job by the crew there to give us a good example of a shot off just in time. Wait, back-to-back nights. Last night, 0.8 for Hamilton, now 0.6 for Arroyo. Oh, beautiful move by Calderon.
Jose Calderon.
Chuck, Raptors are doing a good job offensively, and they're shooting 58% right now.
Calderon has played 11 minutes off the bench after starter Mike James picked up 2 quick fouls in the first 2 minutes of the ball game. Calderon now with 6 points and 4 assists. Tayshaun Prince with a step back. And we have a loose ball foul.
Now, no mercy being shown for Matt Bonner by Flip Saunders. He's sending Tayshaun Prince right at him. I'm sure he didn't want Prince to take that pullback jumper. Much rather than attack. Look at some of the stats. We mentioned the Raptors shooting well. So the Pistons. They're above 55% as well. Getting to the free throw line. Raptors done a good job there. See the rebound situation. The turnovers. Raptors giving up 9 points off 6 turnovers. Zip across the board in the turnover department for Detroit.
Arroyo, the former Raptor, to Tayshaun Prince. Darko Milicic in the game now. A Darko signing.
Oh, remember last year, last couple of years, couldn't get off the bench for Larry Brown.
That's Antonio McDyess. Our second quarter right here on TSN, brought to you by Nissan on President's Choice Raptors basketball with the score Pistons 40 and the Raptors 24. And Caldwell lost the handle out of bounds. Darko led the NBA in preseason in blocks.
He's a big fella, Chuck. He stands about 7 feet tall, close to 7 feet tall. He can shoot the jumper. He's a lefty. Puts the ball on the floor. It's finally his time to show what he can do, and Flip Saunders may be the right coach to get the most out of him. I think his personality will be a little bit more suited to what Darko's used to. Flip will make him relax a little bit and help him out in terms of understanding he can be confident and still be a big major contributor for this team this season.
So we have 23 on the shot clock. Flip Saunders and the Pistons leading by 16. Arroyo. Nice look inside. McDyess cannot finish. Gorgeous pass by Carlos Arroyo. Let's see what the Raptors can do now in a half-court set with Villanueva on the floor. Bosch demanding the ball on the block. Bosch against Tayshaun Prince. Long board comes out to Detroit. Prince, Arroyo, McDyess, Milicic on the court. Tayshaun Prince, that's off the mark. Maurice Evans. So McDyess had a new shot clock at 24.
Again, rebounding, a real priority. Raptors have to make sure they pick up all the rebounds.
Now to switch.
Again, going at Matt Bonner, this time McDyess.
Yes, they are. Hit a trip for the full.
That's a tough call right there. Antonio McDyess lost his footing. Matt Bonner getting the call.
For Bonner, it's going to be his first.
You got to give credit to Detroit offensively, Chuck. Sam Mitchell getting a little frustrated. He's going to have to make a defensive change right here. Joey Graham coming into game for Matt Bonner. Detroit really just trying to go at him, and now you have to make adjustments. If you're going to send help, somebody's going to be open.
So Bonner leaves, played 7 minutes, did not shoot, did not go to the line, had a rebound and 1 assist and 1 foul. Danny Crawford has called a foul against Mo Peterson. These fouls are really starting to add up for the Raptors. That is their 12th foul. The Raptors with only 3. Darko. Another whistle and another foul against Toronto. This could be a long game, Leo.
Yeah, well, again, a lot of the situations they're getting themselves into, Chuck, come on the offensive glass. You really want to make sure that, you know, you can belabor the point, but you have to block up. You just can't go up and get the ball against this Detroit team. No. And you see 3 white shirts right inside there, and the Raptors getting in late. Very, very important to put a body down.
Well, Leo, it's 7-1 in offensive rebounds this quarter alone for Detroit.
Well, another reason that they get the offensive rebounds. And Sam Mitchell telling his guys he wants a timeout here, talk about things. But, you know, what Flip Saunders' team is doing, Chuck, great spacing, and they know when those shots are going up.
Joey Graham has picked up his 3rd. We'll return in a moment. TSN tonight right here with Raptors basketball from the Palace of Auburn Hills with the Pistons and Toronto. Here's Norma.
Thank you. Well, Jalen Rose, born and raised on the west side of Detroit. He had to buck up for 69 tickets tonight. He can afford it now, though, but when he was a kid, he had to be more creative. He and some kids in the neighborhood found a way to play basketball in a very resourceful way.
We built the full court, actually. Something we probably wasn't able to. I ain't gonna tell you how we got the lumber, but we did get the lumber. We had a couple of crates. We built a couple of full courts, put some bricks on the back of it, built the hoop, nailed it on there, got the nets. We had a couple of full courts in the alley, and we used to play neighborhood street ball, put them under some street lights, and then we used to play all day and all night against all comers.
Well, Jalen's mother and grandmother in attendance, as they always are. And, of course, he gets some pretty good seats. They're sitting...
And Jalen Rose went on to stardom with Southwestern High, coached by Perry Watson, played alongside Vashawn Leonard. Howard Isley, who went on to the NBA. Vashawn still in the league. There is Bosch with the dunk. And then Perry Watson went on to become an assistant at Michigan. And Jalen Rose, as the story unfolds, becomes a member of the Fab Five. Here's Delfino in the ball game. He's another guy that was buried in Larry Brown's doghouse a year ago.
Yeah, and again, Flip will find a way to use him. Nice job, Calderon, getting that ball up. Calderon's got 6 assists in the game already, Chuck.
Peterson with his first bucket coming off the bench. Good things happen with Jose handling the rock.
Absolutely.
Darko on Hoffa. Good defense by Rafael Aruja. Did not leave his feet.
Just held his ground, stayed between his man and the basket, tried to bump him off.
See if the Raptors can make a run here at Detroit. Mark Wunderlich, the veteran official, is called a foul against Carlos Delfino.
Yeah, saying that Delfino had a straight arm in the back of Chris Bosh.
Remember, he came in the ball game late in Toronto and almost was on cruise control, and Larry Brown got him out. Yeah.
Again, you know, and it's obviously Larry Brown is a great coach. He's had a tremendous amount of success, but his personality is just so different than Flip Saunders. And with this, some of the international players, it may be a little easier for them to compete and play under Flip.
Peterson has to hurry on a 3-ball. The clock was expiring, but having said all this, Leo, Larry Brown did win an NBA championship here.
Chuck, I'm not taking anything away from Larry Brown, and you know, Flip Saunders is coming into a very difficult situation following a legendary coach like Larry Brown. I'm just saying, from a personality standpoint, Larry Brown expects perfection. For international players coming over, they're not going to have that level in their games, and he's not very patient.
And we're going to have a loose ball foul on the floor. Both players going for it, along with Arroyo and Mo Peterson. And for Peterson, that's going to be his second. Leo, if we can set the table here as far as the foul situation for the Raptors, Graham has 3, 2 apiece for Hoffa, along with James, Woods, and Peterson.
Well, Sam Mitchell addressing that with the officials right now, talking to Danny Crawford, saying, hey, call the same thing down at this end.
The Pistons have been to the free throw line, ladies and gentlemen, 13 times. The Raptors twice, with Bosh going 2 for 2, and that's it.
Well, and fouls 14-4. So right now, very important for the officials to try to notice that discrepancy. Sam Mitchell trying to point that out.
But you've also mentioned many times on our broadcast, Leo, the aggressive team usually gets the calls.
Oh, I'm not disputing that. Oh, boy. You know, Mo Peterson, Chuck, outside of that long 3 he had to take with the clock ticking down there, he's been taking good shots so far in this early regular season. He's starting off this season the way he finished last season. He finished on a real high note, and he's carried it through the summer and now in the first couple of games.
Delfino buries the J.
Probably one of the many outstanding players from Argentina that are not only playing around the world but in the NBA.
Calderon to Bosh. Nice look to Hoffa. Blocked away from behind by Darko. And a wraparound triple drive. Here's Carlos Arroyo. Leaving it up top for McDyess. And it went off Carlos Arroyo out of bounds.
Well, Chuck, you know what impressed me about that block by Milicic? You see how quickly he got up? I mean, he was off his feet.
He's got some skills.
He's got skills. He's very athletic.
Now, I don't know if I would have taken number 2 in the draft.
Well, you have to remember one thing. They didn't draft him what he was going to do then. When LeBron, look how quickly he comes into this play and makes that block. When LeBron came into the league out of high school, Milicic was a year younger than him. He would have been a senior in high school if they were both coming from an American high school. So they drafted him certainly for the upside. And again, under Larry Brown, there wasn't a lot of patience in terms of letting him play. Plus, he came to a championship team.
Yeah, and he got caught up in the numbers game here as Carlos Arroyo is fouled from behind. They're going to wave off the hoop. Lauren Woods coming in for Rafael Arujo. Woods played 2 minutes this half with a couple of fouls. Carlos Arroyo will shoot 2.
I like Arroyo's game, Chuck. Remember, the Raptors had him briefly. And even then, you could see he has a sparkle to his game. If somebody's open, that ball gets there. He's very creative with the basketball, really sees the floor, player that I'd like to be on the floor with. You know that he, a lot like Calderon, if you're open, that ball's going to get to your hands. He's not quite as explosive going up and down the floor as Calderon is, but he's very crafty with the basketball.
Leo, would you say, because you're right, he played only 17 games for the Raptors his rookie year before the Raptors elected to release him, and then he signed on with Denver. The two positions where you got to be patient with players, point guard and center.
Well, and especially if you bring a guy over from, again, the international game, there's going to be an adjustment period. And I think Carlos Arroyo, with a little patience, could have been a good player for Toronto.
Mo Peterson, he's in the groove. Mo Pete. He has scored the Raptors' last 6 points, and it's 46-32 Detroit as we near the 6-minute mark here at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Raptors are shooting 56%, yet trail in this ball game by 14. There is Hamilton. Billups is on the bench, and you've got Ben Wallace on the bench.
Chuck, you look at the guys on the floor. There's some talented players on the floor for this Detroit team, so their depth is certainly going to help them as this, through a long NBA season. You have a second group on the floor right now that can do a lot of damage. Gives these guys a great opportunity to get some rest in a back-to-back situation and stay fresh during that long season.
Rasheed Wallace saying, wait a minute, what am I doing out here? But Maurice Evans, here's another guy picked up. He played for Minnesota, Sacramento, played 65 games for the Kings a year ago at the free throw line. Sacramento could not keep him.
Yeah. And all the points Detroit scored in this quarter, Chuck, have been from their bench.
What does that speak of volumes about the depth? You're right. Peterson popped out. And it's deflected off Rasheed Wallace out of bounds. Danny Crawford, the veteran official right there, making the call. And we're going to have a timeout on the court. Mo Peterson and the Raptors trail in this one 48-32 on TSN. Oh, it's a pleasure talking Raptors ball. And coming up next right here on TSN, Wendy's CFL Live. The Rough Riders taking on the BC Lions. BC having a terrific season. Good to see Aaron Williams back on the bench. A couple of dislocated fingers on that left hand. No breaks, though.
Yeah, that's good news, and that's why it's so important. You saw when Greg Spratt came out, Raptors trainer, as soon as he saw that those fingers were out of the joint, to get him back as quickly as possible, and you avoid any ligament and muscle damage or keeping that stretched out. So
now, Leo, I'm not a doctor. You played with dislocated fingers, is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah,
what do you do, tape them?
You tape them up. It hurts. I try to ice them down, but that's part of life in the NBA. Jalen Rose with a good bucket.
47-32 Detroit. Raps just hanging around now. It's 47-34 after the bucket, so maybe some adjustments at halftime. And the Raptors can get right back to this baby. Still plenty of time remaining here. That was Detroit's first turnover of the contest. They had been averaging 15 per game the first two. 47-34 Pistons. Peterson stops his dribble, giving it up to Rose, driving in the lane, working on Delfino, up, counting the foul. Jalen Rose in one.
Tough move right there. Jalen Rose aggressively getting into the lane. Delfino, physical player, Chuck. He doesn't mind putting the body on you, and Jalen Rose, a good offensive player, likes the body. Watch him turn it in. The finish with the right hand. Nice job.
And Flip Saunders is seated up. Let's see. You've got Wallace coming in. Hamilton's coming in. Billups has returned.
Chuck, if you think about it, I mean, Detroit's a team with a tremendous defensive presence. Raptors are shooting 56% in this game. Huge discrepancy at the free throw line. They're getting outscored by 11 points at the free throw line, and it happens to be the difference in this game.
Yes. Well, the fouls definitely have piled up. There's no doubt about that from the opening whistle. 47-36 Pistons. Hamilton again with a floater. Back ironed and out. Loose ball foul. And they're going to keep it right there. This will go against Toronto.
Again, the pressure that is constantly put on by the Detroit Pistons, and that's going to the offensive glass. When the shot goes up, they just crash. You got Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Tayshaun Prince, even their guards get in there.
Lauren Woods has picked up his third foul in 3 minutes. Leo, is there a trend right now? What you've seen out of 2.5 games with the Raptors, what's your assessment of what's happening in the post?
Well, obviously not a lot. I mean, the Raptors are struggling in that area. They have to get consistency from one of their guys in that low post position.
Woods cannot complete. 2 great passes to set up that layup attempt.
Yeah, well, great idea by Villanueva, but if you watch Woods when he came down, he kind of slowed down. Had he kept on trucking, Chuck, he may have had a dunk on that play.
Phillips. And here come the Raptors again. Calderon turning on the burners, giving it up to Jalen Rose. The trailer is Woods. And Lauren Woods is fouled.
Tough call right there. Fortunate call for Lauren Woods. Looked a little confused when he caught the ball. Chuck really wasn't sure what he was going to do on a play like that.
You know, on his first touch, I thought he was going to try and jack it up from about 17. He had a notion.
As soon as he gets it right here, not real good basketball position. By that I mean very vertical. You want to be down a little bit, get your legs more involved in the play.
Shot clock winding down. Jalen Rose will go to the line with 2. Yeah, what a difference we're looking at.
Jalen Rose from last night to tonight. 4 shots. Didn't really get in sync with his teammates. You're seeing tonight coming down. He's looking to make plays. He's attacking the basket. He's shooting 50% from the field. Rebounding as well. 6 boards in the game.
It's a difference between being a spectator and a participant. When you're on the bench,
kind of sends the message.
It does.
Kind of sends the message.
I kind of like being on the floor a little bit, okay? But again, you're right. You know, and that's what veteran leadership is all about. Jalen Rose with 9 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. He has played very well for the Raptors here in his hometown of Detroit.
And you know what, Chuck? That's a compliment to him. When you look at Jalen Rose and say, hey, come on, you can't play like that. You're too good a player to force shots. You have the ability to make people around you better as well as score, and you really want to try to do that.
They go underneath. Ben Wallace, they're going to wave that off. He used a curl.
Yeah, he used that elbow to hook.
Sure did.
Mo Pete kind of smiling, saying, hey, maybe I got away with one there.
Well, I'm not sure I want to read those lips.
Saying, I don't think that was the right call, Mr. Referee. Is that what he's saying, Chuck?
Saying, hey, I'm listening to Leo on TSN. Make the right call. Villanueva passed up an open look and then put it on the floor. And it's poked out of his hands, or Detroit feels it's their basketball. We're going to have another discussion here with the officials. Well, it's going to be Piston ball.
Get a look at what happened with Ben Wallace. As he turns right there, you can see that right elbow, right arm just wrap around the ribs of Mo Peterson.
Timeout here at the Palace of Auburn Hills with the Pistons and the Raptors. Detroit by 10 on TSN. Tuesday on TSN, 7 o'clock Eastern time. The NHL on TSN. Boston against Philadelphia. And Peter Forsberg and company. And don't forget the NHL on TSN, the Leaf region. It's the Caps taking on the Maple Leafs. Again, Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern time. There's Jose Calderon. And Jose has asserted himself quite well, Leo.
Got 7 assists in this ball game. And take a look at that, Chuck. That's not his bag, is it?
Yes. You know, the veterans, Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose says, you know what, we got to do something special for the rookies. And so Jose and Charlie, along with Joey Graham, they bought him, you know, the old backpack. It's just not, you know, it's just not.
Dora the Explorer backpack.
Yeah.
You gotta love that.
It's just not what you would expect.
Chuck, you know what? I love that.
Yeah.
You don't see enough of that in the league today. As it's gotten younger, you don't see those things that the rookies have to do. And I think it brings a team together. I think it's important for the rookies to establish, to earn some respect in the league, just not come in and get it handed to them.
And that's something that really the Raptor fans should know about. The chemistry on this team has been superb. Just speaking with a couple of the rookies, they really enjoy it. And there's Alvin Williams. We're going to his first look in a regular season game since March 19th of 04.
Well, good to see Alvin. I saw him working out this morning early at the weight room at the hotel and came out shooting a lot of jump shots as well prior to game time tonight. Spent a lot of time in rehabbing, Chuck.
Well, it's great to have him back, just traveling with the ball club. One of the classiest men you will ever meet in or out of the game.
And we talked about it last night, what an asset he can be to a player like Jose Calderon as well, with his experience, and he's not a player that's going to be too shy to share that experience.
52-38 Pistons. Rose, Alvin Williams, Bosch, along with Peterson and Villanueva. Jalen with a pull-up. Richard Hamilton trying to post up Jalen Rose. Now Billups calls a play from the bench and his head coach Flip Saunders. Let's see what they run here. And went off the hands. Very difficult pass. That just didn't look good. It wasn't a good set.
Well, you don't want to leave your feet to make a pass. As soon as you do that, you're asking for trouble. Billups normally very careful with the basketball. And Chuck, one of the things that concerns me in this game, Raptors have been shooting the ball very well, still above 50%. The Detroit defense has not been as tight as you normally see it. You know they're going to ratchet things up a little bit as this game goes along, and the Raptors have to be prepared to handle that.
Is that an NBA move by Jalen Rose or what? Unbelievable. Jalen Rose on the baseline.
Well, he's leading the team in scoring right now with 12 points and leading all rebounders with 6.
Raptors trailing by 12. They've been outscored at the free throw line by 12. They've had 22 trips. Detroit has to the Raptors 5. And here's Toronto now in fast break opportunity.
Saw Tayshaun Prince try to attack Alvin Williams. Alvin did a real good job of holding ground, not giving anything up.
Rose double on the ball, behind the back pass to Bonner, got stripped. Sam Mitchell wanted a foul, didn't get it. 3-on-1, 4-on-1, and a finish. Ben Wallace.
Detroit's so good at capitalizing off of missed shots, mistakes. Sam Mitchell really felt there was a foul on Matt Bonner.
Raptors have now turned it over 9 times, leading to 11 Piston points. 54-40 with under a minute to go in the half. It's Rose at an ISO. Comes up shooting in front of the Raptor bench off the mark. Billups. He wants to bring it out. Let's see if they go after Bonner on the block, which they do. Rasheed Wallace, nice dish to Rip Hamilton.
Hey, as soon as you turn your back, if you lose Hamilton for a split second, he's going to make that cut, and his teammates know he's always moving, and they'll find him.
You are bang on, Leo. He is so active without the ball. There's Peterson, and it's a no-go.
And see what the Raptors have to be careful of is the quick shot right now.
Leaking out, Rasheed Wallace.
To this point, the Raptors have done a pretty good job of being patient on offense. Last 2 shots, not a lot of movement before the shot.
The Raptors had cut Detroit's lead to 10 just a few minutes ago, and now Detroit by 18.
And again, we're talking about them tight things up defensively. You know they're going to do it. As this game goes along, they're going to get more physical and more aggressive.
And the first half has come to an end. Not the way Sam Mitchell and the Raptors wanted to see the end of the first half after making a run at Tayshaun Prince and the rest of the Pistons. And our Nissan shift of the half, Leo. Tayshaun Prince.
Yeah, Tayshaun Prince had the hot hand early when he came into the game. 15 points.
Into a zone. Prince for 3. Tayshaun Prince with 15 points. And that's our Nissan shift of the half. So the Raptors have some work to do and make some adjustments at halftime. Get ready for the third quarter right here. President's Choice. Raptors ball from Motown.
Back at the Palace for some happy young Pistons fans. They should be. Detroit is up by 18 points. I'm with assistant coach Jim Todd. And Jim, of all the discrepancies in the first half, 18 is also the number of fouls that your team has been called for. A step slow on defense, or?
I guess we're more than a step slow. And there's no question the difference in the first half has been from the foul line. You know, we were 4 for 5. They were 18 for 22. It's not the officials' fault. Unfortunately, we are fouling. I mean, we're not moving our feet. And it's something we talked about at the half when Sam talked about it. And it's mano a mano. You got to go up and guard a guy one-on-one. You got to get into him. Ben Wallace starts the game by picking up a charge. We should be able to do the same thing. In the second half, I think right now we've got a lot of foul trouble. And even Aaron Williams looks like he's done for the night. We're probably going to go, I believe right now we're going to start with the smallest lineup we probably started all year. So see what happens. See if we can run a little bit more and try to up the pace. We've already given up a lot of points. Maybe we can score 60 points.
All right, best of luck in the second half. All right, you heard Coach Jim Todd. They're going to go small, see if they can get them with a little quickness.
Okay, Norman, well, hey, whatever floats the boat. You got to go small, Leo. You got to go small.
Well, you don't have a lot of choices. You have to do what you think is going to help you have the best opportunity to stay in this game or win this game. So let's take a look at our IBM winning strategies, Chuck. Talk about recognizing defenses. Well, Toronto did a good job as far as that goes, Chuck. Almost 50% from the field, so not an issue there. Make the extra pass. Raptors had 13 assists. Calderon had 7 of them. So they made up until towards the end of the half, they were moving the ball, making that extra pass. Talk about blocking out. Well, Detroit out-rebounded the Toronto Raptors 24-17, and especially on the offensive board, 8-1. And Sam wants his guys to block out and make sure. You have to find a body. And if you're going to find anybody, it better be Ben Wallace when that shot goes up.
Let's take a look at our President's Choice halftime stats. Free throw shooting, the big stuff.
Yeah, that's really, it comes down to it. Second chance points and obviously points off of turnovers. Detroit did a better job there. But, you know, the Raptors are shooting the ball well. They're not having a problem scoring when they're patient. But they got to rebound. They got to take care of the ball, and they got to stop fouling.
And Peterson, an air ball. The errant pass by Detroit, and here's Jalen Rose.
Got to shoot that. See, nobody expects Jalen Rose to pass up that shot. They're not looking. They're looking to rebound. They're not looking for the ball once he's in that area. That's one of his bread and butter shots. He's got to take it.
And Peterson starting in place of Joey Graham here in the second half. Peterson from the elbow. You can ring it up. From downtown Brooklyn, Ontario, that goes out to Steve Clark watching our broadcast tonight on TSN.
Mo Peterson just playing at a very high level of confidence right now, Chuck, and that's why Sam Mitchell had to do something a little different here at the start of the second half.
Hamilton over Mike James. No. Rebound Wallace. Nice bouncer in the paint. Cannot finish. Another offensive rebound for Detroit. This is Hamilton attacking Mike James, and a lift in.
And I don't know if there's a guy in this league that has less bulk than Richard Hamilton that loves contact as much as him. He gets in there every opportunity. He doesn't care if he gets fouled. He's looking to either make the bucket or get to the free throw line.
Bosch on an ISO against Ben Wallace. So that's a foul. Yep, good call by Jason Phillips right there on the baseline. I like when Bosch is ISO against a player because he's so agile and so nimble and quick with those feet.
Well, and that's the key, too. When you look at a player like Ben Wallace, he likes to use his hands. He's got great feet, great quickness, but he loves to reach and take chances. And you want to try to sweep through exactly the way Bosch did on that play.
Again, this is an ISO. Bosch comes up shooting, missing.
It's the only problem you get, Chuck, when it's an ISO and you take the jump shot. Everybody's standing around watching. They don't want to move and get in your way in case you put the ball on the floor. So you have everybody on hold. And when you take the jump shot, you basically eliminate your rebounding options.
So the Raptors want to talk it over what they're going to do defensively early here in the third quarter, trailing 60-43. What do you think Sam Mitchell's instructing his club to do?
Well, again, most importantly on offense is try to keep the movement. And defensively, you just got to get great communication. This Detroit team, they're doing an outstanding job. When they sense a weakness, when they see an opportunity to score, they go right to that place. And again, I'm going to say that's one of the trademarks of Flip Saunders as a coach.
Here's a look at what Mo Peterson has done.
18 points a game over the last two, 48% from the field, 44% from three. Also helping out in the glass, averaging 5 boards a game. So he's been very solid. Again, picking up the way he finished the season last year.
The interior pass to Ben Wallace to the reach of the foul. Are you surprised, Lee? I mean, this taking nothing away from Detroit. They came in holding their opponents, and they played Philly and Boston to 84 points. But are you surprised the Raptors have scored only 43 points?
This Detroit team is a good team, Chuck. This is one of the teams that's going to contend for the NBA title this year. Flip Saunders, again, a lot to work with coming in here. We talked about what he's going to do for this team offensively. They already have a defensive foundation. They're going to maybe have a little bit more gimmicks, a little bit more gadgets that they will throw out there because of Flip's ideas defensively. But this is a very, very good team.
Well, Bosch is playing the center to start the third quarter. Out of necessity, really, because of the situation at the post right now. And so they're going with Bosch, Rose, Calderon, Peterson, and James. Our third quarter brought to you by Hyundai. Chuck Swirsky along with Leo Runs, Norma Wick at the Palace.
Wow.
How many offensive rebounds does Detroit have tonight?
Well, how did he get to that ball? Did you see his body language when he released the shot? He was contorted and moving away from the shot. Still manages to come back and get the rebound.
Peterson stepped out of bounds on the sideline. Turnover number 10 for Sam Mitchell's ball club. Offensive rebounds 12-1 in favor of the Detroit Pistons.
Jose Calderon getting the only offensive rebound for the Toronto Raptors.
Tayshaun Prince as Peterson hit the floor. Prince, no. Put back, yes. So he gets a made basket and a rebound.
Chuck, when that shot goes up, your perimeter guys got to get down in there. They got to dig in. They just can't stay outside and watch the show.
It's Mike James for two. It's James' first basket, the former Piston who has an NBA championship ring.
Actually, Mike James shooting better from three, 44% than from the field, 33% so far this season.
Perimeter ball movement. Three players touch that ball, and that's a tray.
And you know what that tells you? Unselfish, but also tells you the guys are sitting there saying, I don't care who scores. He's got a better shot. He's got the hot hand. He's got it going tonight. I'm going to give him the rock. Those are the type of teams that win. That's just fun to watch.
67-45. It's almost right now that Detroit's on cruise control.
I was just going to say that, Chuck. They're not even breaking a sweat right now.
They are not. You're absolutely correct, Leo. I'm not sure they're even running set plays. I mean, Wallace will throw out of a double team. There is Prince open from 17. Book it.
And that's what they're doing. They're looking for Prince right now. They're giving him his options. They're spreading out the floor. That's the one thing you notice about them. Great spacing. There's a lot of room to do whatever you want to do out there.
James bombs away from three-point range. Rasheed Wallace to Chauncey Billups. I wonder if they're going to run the same play again with Wallace on the block.
Well, he's got Jalen Rose on him. Absolutely. Throw it down there. Jalen Rose saying, leave him alone. I'll take care of him. But that's not going to happen.
No, they want Ben Wallace to get this shot off.
Now, when you see Ben Wallace, you really have to anticipate this. But when you see Ben Wallace picking up the ball to take a turnaround shot, you don't want to bail him up. That's not his strength. He wants to power up and try to dunk on you.
Ben Wallace wanted to go to the line shooting, too. He says, wait a minute. I should go to the stripe. Yeah, and then the officials, Danny Crawford, came over and said he's going to line. What's interesting, Ben Wallace has been one of the most underrated players in the league and also underpaid. As you see Sam Mitchell with Jose Calderon. Ben Wallace is making the neighborhood of $5 million this year. He's a free agent, unrestricted free agent. And the Bulls and the Atlanta Hawks have cleared cap room. And there was a story in the Chicago Tribune last week, Leo, about the Bulls making a huge run at Ben Wallace. Wallace then came out in an interview with the Detroit papers and said, I want to stay here in Detroit. And he's going to get his money. He has been the heart and soul of this club. Would you agree? Right.
And he's going to get paid. And I think he's one of those players that also realizes you might get a few more bucks somewhere else. But when you're talking about the amount of money you're dealing with to begin with, your quality of your life is not going to be any better. And here's the brain trust of the Detroit Pistons. Joe Dumars,
John Hammond,
basketball operations. That's right. They've done a great job of bringing guys together that want to play together. They're not in here just asking top dollar. They're willing to take a little bit less to be on a great team. And I think Ben Wallace is going to be one of those guys.
Leo, they've got a couple of kids right now that are inactive for this game that they are very, very high on. One a high school kid, Amir Anderson, that they really think that he is going to be a terrific player.
They've done a great job of finding the right pieces.
70-45 Pistons with 6:47 to go third. Wallace.
See, just a lot of patience right there, Chuck. They're just getting Ben Wallace the basketball, and as soon as anybody helps out at all, they're just going for the open man. They're just laughing and smiling out there.
Yeah, they are.
They're making the game look very, very easy.
And Sam Mitchell wants to burn another timeout. Boy, the defensive intensity for the Raptors really lacking. So we're going to have a timeout. We'll return in just a moment from the Palace of Auburn Hills. 72-45 Pistons third. Well, the Raptors are going on a youth movement, so maybe this young man will fit right in. Well, maybe one day with Detroit
I like
as well.
his toughness, Chuck.
Yeah. Well, there you see what's going on. Amir Johnson, Jason Maxiell, Alex Acker, they kept them. And Ronnie Dupree was traded to Minnesota because they're very high on these three kids.
Also, you got a guy like Dale Davis, 15th season.
They're stashing him for the playoffs.
But it's insurance policy. You never know what happens.
There's Amir Johnson, and they've got a lot of young players. And again, this is what scouting's all about, because this wave and the window for Detroit is still very potent. They're going to have a good run for another couple, 3 years.
Absolutely, and what a great opportunity for these young guys to be around these older players every single day, learn, see what it's like to be a champion. Great, great opportunity. Also see there in the left of your screen, Ron Harper, one of the new additions to the staff on the coaching side of it. Here's a guy that's won championships with the Chicago Bulls, playing with Michael Jordan.
Discovered by Wayne Embry.
Absolutely.
Of the Toronto Raptors. Yeah, Ron Harper was a fabulous NBA player.
What I love about him, and you talk about a guy sacrificing, a big-time scorer in the NBA, big-time scorer. All of a sudden, an opportunity comes to play for the Chicago Bulls, and to do that, he's not going to be a scorer playing with Michael Jordan. He had to become a defensive player and a guy that would share the ball but lock people up, and he was willing to do that to be a part of a championship team.
I remember watching him in the Mid-American Conference in a ball game at Athens, Ohio, with Ohio U and Miami of Ohio, and I thought to myself, this guy is good, really good. He made himself into a #1 draft choice by the Cavaliers, then sent to the Clippers for Danny Ferry.
Remember, he blew out his knee fairly early on in his career. He was absolutely ridiculous up until that point.
Here's Calderon splitting the defense, swatted away by Ben Wallace. Here is Billups to the rim. Defense sets up the offense in transition.
Yeah, they're so good at that. Any mistake, any lapse by the offense, they just come right back at you.
And Detroit has made this surge here in the third quarter. Leo, if you think about it, only one rook is on the floor. We have not seen Graham or Villanueva. So the veterans, 4 of the 5 players on the court for the Raptors, all have NBA experience.
Well, very frustrated look on the face of Sam Mitchell. It's tough situation, Chuck. When you know, very, very bluntly, there's just not enough talent on the floor right now for the Toronto Raptors to compete against a team like the Detroit Pistons. There are the guys you're talking about: Joey Graham, Charlie Villanueva, Rafael Araujo getting limited minutes in the first half. Got the start, but only played about 8 minutes.
Again, very easy for Richard Hamilton. Hamilton with 16. Prince has 24. Leo, at what point, when you're down 76-49 with under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, do you say to yourself, okay, we got Cleveland coming up Monday, I'm going to go to the bench?
There's still a lot of time left in this game.
Calderon held out in front about 15 feet away and turned the corner on the baseline.
And this might be a game where, you know, Matt Bonner's been struggling, Chuck. Maybe a few extra minutes to help him kind of get on track. Hopefully, if he can do that, this may be the opportunity.
Bosch, Rose, James for 3.
James, great range in that shot, Chuck. When he gets his feet set and he's got time, he can just light it up.
He told me just prior to the tip-off how much he enjoyed his time here in Detroit. He said, why not? NBA World Championship ring. Richard Hamilton is having his way. I mean, they are just going deep in the well to Richard Hamilton almost every play now.
It's you know, not to overemphasize the point, but if you relax just for a second when you guard him, you know, two of the most dangerous people on the floor, the guy with the ball, obviously, but the guy that just makes the pass, because the defense has a tendency to relax and follow the ball with their eyes. Richard Hamilton, when he gets rid of the ball, he eats you alive.
McDyess. Ben Wallace got away with a walk, but they're going to call a foul. There's Eric Williams. Still waiting for his turn to get in uniform.
No, you have to wonder what's going on with his situation. Is he going to play? Is he somebody that Sam is going to put on the floor? Or is he somebody that they're shopping, trying to see what's available for him? But also to shop him, you figure he's going to have to step on the floor at some point in time and show that he is healthy and can play.
Yep. And I spoke to Eric prior to the ball game, and I said, how's the knee? He said, the knee's fine. He said, I played in the last preseason game. And he said, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and I was watching him shoot, working out prior to game time, and he looked pretty mobile. He was moving pretty well, shooting the ball well.
79-52 Pistons. Ben Wallace with a double-double in this one. We have 3:45 remaining third. Calderon keeps the dribble alive, finds Bosch on a pump and a jab and a shoot from 15.
You see nobody's there. Raptors small and nobody going to the glass.
Hamilton with a pull-up. Bosch with the board. Storyline with Bosch, 12 points, 6 rebounds in 29 minutes. James again for 3. Book it.
Yeah, and that's the game right now the Raptors are going to have to play is similar to what you just saw. Make sure you block out. Try to get that ball up the floor as quickly as possible. And at this point in time, I'd say you have the freedom to get some shots up quickly if you can have an advantage down the floor. See if you get some sort of a run together.
McDyess comes off a screen and drains the baseline jumper. Antonio McDyess. Here's Rose with a spin and a score.
That's a tough shot. Not only did he have to shoot that one over McDyess, but I should say Ben Wallace, but he had Antonio McDyess hovering around trying to get a piece of it as well.
Phillips rimmed out. And here come the Toronto Raptors shooting 33% here in the third quarter. 46% in the ball game. And Mike James, a very streaky shooter, and he is in the zone, folks. Detroit. And the Pistons have called the timeout. Mike James with 10 here in the third. We'll be right back on TSN.
Don't let stomach problems interrupt your life. Try new Maalox Multi-Action. 6-symptom relief.
At last, bring home the year's biggest movie on DVD. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Packed with over 6 hours of bonus features, including 6 deleted scenes and an all-new documentary. Buy Star Wars Episode 3 on DVD today.
That looks pretty good, doesn't it? A little enticing for the ice cream here for some enjoyment on a Saturday night at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Pistons fans, they love their Pistons. 22,076, our Victor viewpoint, right here on Raptors basketball. Araujo and Woods have shown flashes of promise, but are invisible most of the game, according to Sean in Ottawa. Game to game, Mitchell will have to see who is playing best and ride the highs for all they are worth.
That's exactly it. Whatever happens in the middle, Raptors will take. And if it's Woods one night, Arujo another night, Villanueva or Bosch for that matter on another given night, the Raptors will take whatever they can get. And I think it's a little frustrating for Sam Mitchell with Hoffa giving him the start tonight. Again, mentioned that he only played 8 minutes and really never got on track in a game. No rebounds in his 8 minutes on the floor.
To recap this ball game, the Pistons jumped out to a 38-22 first quarter lead and have never looked back. They've led by as many as 27 points. Richard Hamilton in the ball game with 18 points. And coming up tomorrow, 9 o'clock on CTV, Desperate Housewives. Terry Hatcher and company.
You watch that show, Chuck?
No. Oh, yes. Yes, I do. On CTV.
I like watching that show. It's like watching the San Antonio Spurs game.
I know at times you are desperately. Oh, here's Mo Peterson.
I don't know how to take that, Chuck.
No, Leo. I don't know how to take that. I'm just saying that, you know, you're the kind of guy that likes to call basketball games and coach the national program.
Hey, you're scrambling right here. Come on. What do you mean by that, Chuck?
By the way, how is the national program?
We're good. Good. A lot of good young guys, Chuck. We're getting ready.
You can assume you want to ask Ben Wallace.
You know what? I
Canadian
actually,
citizenship.
I've offered him a residence in Windsor, just over the bridge. Told him we take care of all the paperwork.
That's right. I'll get you across the bridge of the tunnel, no problem.
Just say A as much as possible, and we'll be all set.
Hey, you hoser. Give me the ball and clear out. How are you all kidding aside, Leo, with big men in this country in Canada?
You know, that's an area that we're, constantly working on, obviously. There's a lot of big young kids playing college ball in the States, which is a real asset. A couple of young guys that I think are very promising. And obviously, Jamal McGraw, who's now with the Milwaukee Bucks. There may be a day he decides to put on the uniform, which would be a great plus for the team.
One can only hope.
Absolutely. Never give up hope.
You never give up.
Key.
That's right. 4 on the clock. Are you kidding me? Ben Wallace desperation. Ben Wallace with 15 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists. He is doing the dishes tonight.
Well, not only that, but look who he's guarding. Hey, it's one thing that Jalen Rose is stuck guarding him, but Ben Wallace is guarding a guy that's a two-guard in this league. He's two-guard small forward, and he's loving the challenge. He's getting up there. He's picking him up at the top of the key.
Racing down the floor.
Yeah. A lot of guys will look at that and say, hey, no, I'm a big man. I'm not going out there. And he's going, give him to me. I'll take him. And look at that.
Look at this.
Soft touch. Boom.
Mike James, Jalen Rose. And he tried to reverse, got hacked and fouled, and will shoot 2. There's big Ben Wallace.
You know what? I love talking to the Pistons players about Ben Wallace. And the one thing to a man, they all say is that we have an incredible amount of trust that no matter what we do, he will be behind us, backing us up.
Here's Ben Wallace with Dale Davis, Rasheed Wallace, Antonio McKnight. How about this, Leah? Ben Wallace, he was undrafted at a Virginia Union and went there because he met Charles Oakley at Cuyahoga Community College in Cleveland, where he's from. Ben Wallace was in Boston's camp 3 times. He was in Boston's camp in 96, 97, and 99. And Rick Pitino opted to take Eric Riley and Dwayne Chinsis over Ben Wallace.
Chuck, I remember him in Orlando and Washington, especially Washington. I kept looking at this guy saying, wow, this guy is just a rebounding machine. He's physical. He's all over the floor. And teams just let him go. For some reason, he just got no respect. And a lot of times players get labeled, too small to be in the middle in the NBA. And I disagree with that. He's a player, much like Chauncey Billups with the ball right there. He's not. Is he a 1 or 2? Who cares? He's a player. Tell him what you want, and he'll get it done.
Billups, the former Raptor, giving it up. Maurice Evans got 3 ball from the left pocket.
See Chauncey Billups right now, Chuck. He's only taken 8 shots in this game. He could go and get his right now. So he's got different guys in the game. It's not a big deal to him. He's going to make sure other guys get their shots. Just enjoy this game and kind of breeze through it.
Calderon with a runner, rimmed out, rebound Detroit. That's their 42nd. Toronto has 24 on the night. Prince for three. Right before the shot clock expired to end the third quarter. They're going to take a look at it, but it's good. From here, it looked like it left his hands.
And Prince wants to foul, too. He's not good enough to make the shot. He wants an and-one.
We've seen that happen twice in this ball. We're about to start the fourth quarter, but first, beat stick 5-minute third quarter stats.
Both teams shooting not too far apart. Pistons around 48%. Look at the free throw differential right there. 27 attempts to 11 for Detroit. 22 assists. They only have 6 turnovers in the game. Second chance points 11 zip, and also a plus 18 advantage on the glass overall, and 13-1 offensive rebounds in favor of Detroit.
Is it safe to say this Prince made a house call to his palace tonight?
I would say so. 27 points.
89-62 here at the Palace of Auburn Hills. It's been Tayshaun Prince, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Ben Wallace. There's a reason, folks. They won the NBA championship 2 years ago and then got into a ball game, Game 7 on the road in the fourth quarter with a game on the line against San Antonio. I mean, this is an excellent basketball team. They've kept the core group together.
Well, and you look at San Antonio, Chuck, I think they're a better team than they were last year. They've done a lot of things to improve their team over the summer, and I think the Pistons have too. So
I could see a rematch.
Yeah, you may very well see that at the end of the year.
Meantime, Jalen Rose has poured in 19 points. Delfino comes off the screen. No good. Rebound, Joey Graham, the star of the fourth quarter. Along with Charlie Villanueva, Jalen Rose, Jose Calderon, and Mike James.
Thank you, Chuck. You know, you're talking about how close the Pistons came to getting back-to-back titles, and that is something very much on the minds of these Detroit players. They know they lost on the road in Game 7, and that's one thing they talked about this year was getting off to a better start. They want to play for home court advantage this year, so this 3-0 start, part of a mission to get that, to secure home court advantage. Chuck?
And Chuck, when you want to, if you want to see that game, San Antonio, Detroit, the first time they're going to meet this season will be on Christmas Day here at the Palace. I'll be looking forward to that one.
And the Raptors will be in San Antonio December the 21st. The Spurs, of course, have added Michael Finley.
Nick Van Exel.
Nick Van Exel.
I think that was a great pickup. And, of course, Alberto from Argentina. Outstanding rebounder.
Here's Joey Graham. Bobble the ball. Lost the handle. Here comes Carlos Arroyo over the midcourt line. Line to the lane with a ball fake and can't finish. He did everything but put the ball in the old peach basket. You're right. He has a little flash and dance to his game, doesn't he?
Yeah, he definitely has a little bit there. Good ball fake right there. Getting Mike James to shift completely over, and he just couldn't get it to stay down.
Dude, they're going to show that in the Pistons film room over and over. They're going to say, hey, Carlos, come on. Mike James, nice runner off window.
Tough shot. Mike James, 12 points in the game.
Raptors will be back home. Hope to see at the Air Canada Center. King James coming to town. Raptors have had problems with a Prince tonight. Let's see what they can do against a King.
Oh, you talk about LeBron James and Cleveland, Chuck. They had a problem with San Antonio last night. They ran in. You know, they obviously, San Antonio is where they want to be. Evans with the game. But San Antonio showed that they are still well ahead of the Cavaliers in terms of what they're trying to accomplish.
Maurice Evans with a foul on Jalen Rose, and Darko's coming off the bench. Darko played 6 minutes in the first half.
He's coming in for Tayshaun Prince, who's leaving the game with 27 points on 10 of 17 shooting. It's an outstanding ball game.
Villanueva, a deep three.
Now, you know, again, what you want to do right now with the young players on the floor is try to execute. With this group that's on the floor, you want to try to do a lot of things that you normally would do if the game was close. You want to try to execute, try to move the basketball, run your offenses, and get as much practice time in a game situation as you can.
Tayshaun Prince's night is over. 34 minutes, 10 of 17 from the floor, 4 of 4 from the foul line, 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. A frustrating night at the office for Sam Mitchell and company. 93-66 Pistons. That ball bounced off Arroyo's chest, out of bounds. And we have a timeout with 8:54 remaining right here on TSN. President's Choice Raptors ball from the Palace. Chuck Swirsky, Leo Rounds, Norm Mowick. Good to have you with us from the Palace. Our fusion, create a reaction. We match the pictures with the quotes from the first half, and now we bring it to you.
All right. 9 points in the second quarter in the NBA. You can't win like that. Well, Jalen Rose has been around a long time. He knows that. And come with energy, play hard, team basketball. And Chris Bosh started out this game going after it, but Detroit is basically taking the game away from the Toronto Raptors pretty early here tonight. Frustrating for Bosh and company.
And Chris Bosh and the Raptors will go back to work on Monday at home against the Cavaliers. Bosh in this ball game played 32 minutes, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 4 of 4 from the line, 1 assist. No personal fouls. Rebounding totals, Leo. Detroit with 44 and the Raptors with what, 27?
Yeah, the big one is the offensive rebound numbers, 13-2. Joey Graham.
You say 13-2?
13-2, yeah. Good drive on Milicic. And there we see some.
So you've got Hoffa and Bonner on the bench.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I would think that Matt Bonner would get some time here to try to get on track. He played 9 minutes in the game. No shots attempted in those 9 minutes. And Araujo, 8 minutes. No rebounds in his time on the floor.
So you go to Villanueva, who's had a quiet night. 16 minutes, 2 points. Charlie in the paint. Tough shot. Nice job, Charlie Villanueva.
He's got some deceptive moves.
I love him in the post.
Yeah, he gets the ball off quickly, and even though sometimes you think he's going to have a hard time getting the shot off, he finds a way to get it off, and very consistent with it. And he's not afraid of contact in the post either.
McDyess. Carlos Arroyo sneaks in and gets the rebound. That should not happen. And Carlos Arroyo can't finish. Graham, nice hustle. And here come the Raptors on a 3-on-1. Jalen Rose going upstairs and off the rim and out by Mike James. And now the Pistons on a 3-on-1. Arroyo, Delfino with the flush. (95-68) Pistons. Rose.
Had an opportunity with Villanueva as he cut down. He wanted the ball. Rose never dropped it down.
Marie Sevens counted in the foul.
Everybody moves, Chuck. Everybody moves. They got some great teachers. We talked about Richard Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince. These are guys that are constantly moving. And that just rubs off on other players. Flip Saunders takes advantage of those abilities of these players. And again, a big part of what allows them to do it is the spacing on the floor. If you look at how everybody's spread out, so advantages can be taken care of on the floor.
So Jalen Rose with foul number 4.
Marie Sevens, good-looking player, Chuck. Athletic, can shoot the basketball.
Oh, and this was a terrific pickup for Joe Dumars and John Hammond. 98-68 Detroit. In the ball game now, Jason Maxiell. And they really think very highly of Maxiell from Cincinnati, who turned it over. And again, here's James with the push, accelerating to the cup. Missed. Tip won't go by Rose. And Detroit now on a 5-on-3. And Arroyo will shoot 2.
Arroyo's having one of those nights. just can't get anything to stay down. And the frustration very apparent on the Raptors bench.
As the Pistons outscored the Raptors, Leo, 31-22 in the third quarter. And again, as you look at Aaron Williams, who suffered 2 dislocated fingers in the first half, he has not played in the second half, but that primarily was a veteran unit. As you look at Aaron Williams' left hand, that was primarily a veteran unit on the floor during that 31-22 run in the third quarter.
Well, yeah, that's true, Chuck, but as a veteran unit, that the right pieces necessarily.
Are you talking about on the floor with the combo?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about it was a small veteran unit. There was no size on the floor, so you really can't say that just because there's veterans, they should have been able to compete, because on a talent level and a size level, the matchups weren't there. Sam Mitchell, not a lot of choices with foul trouble and lack of production from the middle with his big guys. Had to go small.
And that is, unfortunately for the Raptors, a trend that we have seen now in the first 3 games of the season.
Well, until one of the big players, Lauren Woods, Arujo, possibly Aaron Williams, until one of those guys steps up and offers some more in the middle, Raptors are not going to have a choice but to play smaller ball.
Now, Hoffa did have a pretty good run during training camp.
He had a couple of good preseason games, and again, it's but when you come in and when it's the real season, when you start out, you have to be able to bring it every time you step on the floor. And what happened in last night's game, I thought, was extremely frustrating for the coaching staff. When Hoffa came into the game, the team was struggling, taking quick shots, and one of the advantages of coming in off the bench is that you see the mistakes that are being made. You don't want to duplicate them. You want to come in and try to correct them. And he basically played along with the mistakes, and that got him the quick yank, and that's tough for a coach to forget about that.
Alvin Williams, Calderon, Villanueva, Rose, Peterson. That is your unit. Rose forced up the shot. A whistle and a foul, bringing Flip Saunders off the bench.
That's a veteran right there against a rookie. Rose made sure that there was a foul called on that play. Not a good shot, but he made sure he leaned in and finished with his arms going right into the body of Max Hill.
Jalen Rose has played 36 minutes, attempted 19 shots. He's 5 of 7 from the free throw line. He's now got 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. It's a 100-72 ball game in favor of Detroit. A lot of games coming up for the Raptors. They've got Cleveland on Monday, then a break, followed by Utah.
Yeah, kind of an unusual break this early in the season.
Well, for the Raptors, this is their 3rd game in 4 nights. I guess it's feast or famine with the schedule, huh?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Maxwell flat on the jumper. Alvin Williams going to the rim, and he gets fouled and will shoot 2.
Good aggressive move by Alvin, showing a little acceleration.
So Darko with the foul will return in a moment right here on TSN.
Back at the Palace, where we're seeing another dominating performance by a Pistons team, and Mo Peterson, growing up in nearby Flint, Michigan, like so many other kids, watched the Pistons, and that they had a very deep impression in his life.
Believe it or not, I fell in love with the game of basketball when I was 5 years old. I remember watching the Pistons game. I was a big Pistons fan, and I remember, seeing guys like Bill Laimbeer, and I remember when Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas and those guys came along. That's when I really had love for the game, and I used to see how hard they work and the championships they won, and I used to be like, man, that's what I want to do.
Well, Mo would hone his game in nearby Flint at a place called Burston Fieldhouse with guys like Glenn Rice, Trent Tucker, Mateen Cleaves, even Andre Rison, and then, of course, went on to win a championship with Michigan State.
And Norma, the first time Mo Peterson played on this court at the Palace of Auburn Hills after all those years, you would think maybe a regular season game for Michigan State or a high school game. It was an NCAA tournament playoff game against Iowa State and Marcus Fizer. And then they took on Syracuse and beat the Orange.
Yeah, I remember that. I thought that game was horribly officiated. It was one of the most lopsided games I've ever seen. No, I tell you what, Syracuse, you know, Syracuse famous for their 2-3 zone. Mo Pete and company ripped that zone apart. They did a great job of getting to the spots and knocking down jump shots in that game.
All right, let's get the shameless plug. Your son is a freshman at Syracuse. Eddie, how's he doing?
Sorry, just recovering from mono, Chuck. Right now, that's a tough thing to deal with anytime, let alone being a freshman coming in. So that's his big thing to deal with right now.
Well, you know what, Leo, I know you're very proud of all your children, Andy and your 3 other sons, and you know you have a lot to be thankful for, seeing your kids develop in college and whatnot, and it's an adjustment. We've talked about players making the adjustment coming from college and high school to the NBA, but also a high school kid like your son going to Syracuse, a high-powered program.
It's a big adjustment. You're talking about a lot of players in a program like that. They want to go to the NBA, so you've got to be ready to step up and play at a very, very high level and then deal with the things everybody else deals with, going to class and adjusting to college life. So a little bit different. You ever do that, Chuck? Come on, tell me you did.
Let's go back to the action here.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I thought.
.104-77 Pistons. Maxiell pokes the ball out of Mo Peterson. I'll give you a quote on Jason Maxiell. Joe Dumars, this is a quote, says, "This guy is a beast." That's Joe Dumars. That is a direct quote.
Well, you know, Joe Dumars isn't a guy that speaks with a lot of superlatives, so he's got to think very highly of them to be saying that.
Joe Dumars, John Hammond, George David.
Done a great job putting this team together.
You still have 4:23 remaining. Maxiell, ball knocked out of his hands.
He may be a beast, but he better protect the ball. He's guarded by Jalen Rose. He's got the quick hands. And the veteran slap.
So, Leo, what do you think? The Raptors only have 1 day to get ready for Cleveland. What do you think they're going to be working on?
Well, Chuck, right now, it's a lot about confidence. You really need to...
Great hustle by Alvin.
You know, when you've got a lot of young players out there, they're experiencing some of these things for the first time, and it's a heavy task for Sam Mitchell to not only continue to build the team and develop what you want to develop on the floor as a unit, but it's very important to keep the confidence up and keep everybody on the same page.
106-79 Pistons. Calderon, he lost the ball on the way up. And Arroyo in open territory, giving it up to Carlos Delfino, and a foul.
That's just great hustle right there. Delfino was the guy that helped knock the ball away from Calderon at the other end, and he just trucks all the way down, and his teammate was waiting for him to drop it off. Look at that, Alvin Williams. That's what the Raptor fans loved about his game when he was healthy and fine. Just he'd go after everything. He'd leave it all on the floor.
Leo, the guy's playing on one leg, and he's diving for a ball with 106-79. His team's trailing.
You would expect nothing less.
And he and Rasheed Wallace, their days back in Philadelphia, and they love one another. Look, they look at it. Joe Frazier from the days in Philadelphia.
Joe Frazier.
You know what I can't believe about Rasheed Wallace? I mean, here's a guy that grew up in Philadelphia, Alvin Williams. I was talking to Alvin a couple of weeks ago. I said, Alvin, I read a story about Rasheed Wallace. He's a Kansas City Chiefs fan. He said, Chuck, he loves the Chiefs. I said, what's up with that? The Kansas City Chiefs, he grew up in Philadelphia?
Got to be an Eagles fan, Chuck.
Well, you heard what happened to Terrell Owens today. They suspended him.
Good.
Yep.
Good. You know what? Enough's enough. You're getting paid a lot of money to play for a team, and a little respect for your teammates and your organization is not a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's about time that a team stood up to a superstar and said, guess what? You're not even showing up in uniform. We're suspending you.
Plus, he's calling out one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and Donovan McNabb, also a Syracuse guy.
Hey, you do a pretty good job. You want a talk show on the Fan 590? We can arrange that. Oh, it's a pleasure. We're talking Raptors ball on a Saturday night. Chuck Swirsky, Leo Rollins, Norma Wick on TSN. Gord Cutler Paul Graham, Dan Glavin, Forbes, Finn Robertson.
Did you see that, Chuck? They even have size in their dance team.
Yes. And let's take a look at President Choice Raptors basketball. Our next 3 games, Rogers Sportsnet, Cavs, Raps, and then the score. Leo and I will have the call with Utah. Darren Williams, the high-priced rookie out of Illinois. Good-looking young man. And after that, then the Seattle Supersonics. Let's go to our Gatorade Game X Factor.
All right, Chuck, what do you have for me? Come on.
Jose Calderon, he has played 40 minutes. He's going to be one tired dude after back-to-backs.
Yeah, he's done a pretty good job in a very difficult situation, Chuck. He's been trying to push the ball up the floor. 9 assists to just 2 turnovers. I mentioned prior to game time that his assist-to-turnover ratio coming into this game is 5-1. That's tremendous. Anytime you're 3-1 or better, that means you're doing a real good job of distributing and protecting the basketball. And 9 assists tonight. You saw the other X factor was Antonio McDice, and a solid contribution off the bench. Although no need for an X factor for the Detroit Pistons. It was an entire team effort from beginning to end.
Jose Calderon is talking right now with Carlos Arroyo just outside the three-point. They've been battling one another through different international games.
A couple of great point guards, Carlos Arroyo for Puerto Rico, and obviously Calderon for Spain. We got a lot of international flavor on the floor here. Milicic and Delfino, Chuck Swirsky.
And you know what? It's only the start. There's going to be such a wave of international players coming over here.
The wave is on, Chuck. You're talking about players with a lot of skill, great understanding of the game. They know when to pass and when to shoot, how to get the ball up the floor.
Yeah, baseball has a World Cup coming up.
I'd love to see that.
Did you see that?
I think that'd be great. And you know, the NBA, Chuck, is such a focus on the global game.
Well, you do have the Olympics.
Yes. But if you take, I'd love to see the champions from the NBA play against the champions from the Italian League, the Spanish League.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Or how about make it a mandatory you play for your country? I'd like to see that happen. Delfino with a pretty spin and a finger roll.
You'd like to see that happen, but that's a difficult situation, Chuck, because you have families involved and a lot of personal issues, so it'd be very difficult to make that happen.
Well, I think it's an honor and a privilege to play for your country.
It is, Chuck, and I don't think a lot of players don't play because they don't respect their country. I think a lot of situations come up, and you can't. It's a very personal issue with every different player.
I think it's a gift.
You're right. You're right. Chuck, I gotta tell you something here. We were sitting here as we were going to break. You know who I saw walk out of the arena?
Mitchell?
No, that's bad.
Okay, what?
No, one of the all-time.
He probably like to at this point.
One of the all-time great Detroit Pistons players, Dave Bing. Also, one of the all-time great Syracuse players, Dave Bing.
You're getting your quote of Syracuse. Shameless play.
Hey, Chuck, I just saw him walk out. I just saw him walk out just a few minutes ago. And I had to bring mention of that. You mentioned Dave Bing's name here in Detroit. He is a legend also.
Yes, he is.
Legend off the floor. He's done remarkable things with a steel company formed many years ago. One of the top steel companies in the United States. And there he is. There's his uniform hanging, or his number, retired. Dave Bing, 21.
You know, Leo, he is a brilliant businessman and has done an incredible job trying to and encouraging young African Americans here in the Detroit city to get involved with business and get involved with education, get their degree. So you're right.
He's done tremendous things for the youth and the community here,
and I love to see that. I mean, it'd be so easy just to absolutely. The Pistons, we've got an update on the rebounding. They have outboarded the Raptors 55-33. Last night, the Nets took care of business against the Raptors on the board 46-35. Coming up next, Wendy, CFL Live. Saskatchewan, take it on BC.
Who are you taking on that one?
I like BC, and I'll say one other note, speaking of the CFL, if Damon Allen is not the most outstanding player this year, there should be an investigation. I mean, hey, I know.
Seriously, how do you feel about that?
I think Damon Allen is an incredible story in professional sports.
I can't argue with that. He's been unbelievable things he's done, and And you know what? I'm going to go one step further, Chuck. His coach, Pinball Clemens. You talk about a guy that goes the extra mile, job in the community, and what he does for the game itself. He's been exceptional as well.
Yep. Here's Villanueva. Pretty reverse, can't complete. Well, that's what you get, folks, in a blowout. We've talked about the Kansas City Chiefs. We've talked about the CFL. Talked about Terrell Owens. The Leafs beat Tampa.
All right.
If you think A.J. Burnett's going to sign with the Jays, let's cover all these sports. In a 45-mile area, you've got a sellout tonight here at the Palace, 22,000 plus. At the Joe Louis Arena, downtown Detroit, 20,000 is sellout. And they're losing to Wayne Gretzky and the Phoenix Coyotes 3-1 late in the third period. That's your hockey update. I'm Foster Hewitt.
Now, what you don't realize, unless you come to see a game here in Detroit, there's a great Auburn Hills is a long way away from downtown Detroit.
Yes.
It's amazing that you get the crowds that they do. They've had something like 80 consecutive sellouts here in Detroit. They get great crowds, and it's 87 consecutive sellouts.
.115.84 Detroit. Raptors have never led in this game. It has been Detroit from the opening tip, folks. They have 46 points in the paint. They have gone to the free throw line 36 times, have 56 rebounds, and they're about to go 3-0, and the Raptors are headed for their third straight loss to start the season and have just a little bit of time to regroup to get ready for LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tayshaun Prince, brilliant, 27 points in 35 minutes. Sam Mitchell and the Raptors walk off the floor, losing to the Pistons.